3, 2, 1.
Hi, this is Genesis, and you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So according to multiple sources, finally, Canelo and Billy Joe Saunders have agreed to all terms and will face off May 2nd. Now, we had already knew that it was most likely between Caleb Smith or Billy Joe Saunders. Both fighters, they already had a set amount of what they wanted going in negotiations, and Billy Joe Saunders, he finally got at least what he was happy to get, to fight Canelo Alvarez. Now, let me give you the history on Canelo Alvarez and Billy Joe Saunders. Now, maybe 2 years ago, whenever it was that Billy Joe Saunders fought against David Lemieux, he looked terrific. That was one of his best performances when he completely dominated David Lemieux. Now, when he beat David Lemieux, Canelo Alvarez, or Team Canelo Alvarez, they said they don't want to fight Billy Joe Saunders because they don't like his style. Coincidentally, that's exactly what Canelo just said recently about Demetrius Andrade, the undefeated WBO middleweight champion. He said he doesn't want to fight Demetrius because he doesn't like his style. But when it came to BJ Saunders looking horrible in his last fight against Marcelo Coceres, all of a sudden, Canelo Alvarez and Team Canelo Alvarez, they changed their mind and they said, now we actually like his style and we're willing to fight him. And that's exactly what happened, because now that's going to be Canelo's next opponent, Billy Joe Saunders. Considering the fact that we all know that Canelo Alvarez wants no smoke with Jermall Charlo or Demetrius Andrade, despite that being the case, this is still a good fight. I will say this is a good fight, even though BJ, he looked horrible in his last fight. I mean, at least if you're considering the type of opponents that Canelo Alvarez usually is facing. He's usually facing opponents that have already previously been knocked out, that are towards the end of their career. At least BJ Saunders is undefeated, and he can capitalize off of Canelo Alvarez possibly underestimating him, basing or judging him off of his last performance. I truly believe this will be a very competitive fight. If Canelo just blows out BJ Saunders, that would be impressive. I mean, obviously, if we're comparing BJ Saunders to a Ryota Murata or a Rocky Fielding, then yes, this is a good opponent for Canelo Alvarez to choose, especially if the BJ Saunders who beat David Lemieux and Chris Eubank shows up. Going into this fight, BJ Saunders, he's going to have a significant height advantage over Canelo Alvarez. But unlike previous Canelo Alvarez opponents like Rocky Fielding and Sergey Kovalev, who also had a height advantage over Canelo, both of those fighters had previously been knocked out before they got in the ring with Canelo. And Kovalev, he had been knocked out twice. That's the difference. BJ Saunders is undefeated. The last undefeated southpaw that Canelo was in the ring with was Edeslani Lara. And the majority of fans believe that Lara actually beat Canelo Alvarez. So I believe that this is going to be a very competitive fight. You know, I'm still going to lean towards Canelo because, once again, when it comes to Canelo, you're not just fighting against Canelo Alvarez, you're fighting against the judges. So, you know, if it goes 12 rounds, if you don't knock out Canelo, which we know Billy Joe Saunders, he won't do that because he really has no power. If it goes 12 rounds, you're going to have to beat Canelo Alvarez at least 8 rounds to 4, 9 rounds to 3. It can't be 7 rounds to 5. It can't be a fight where the rounds could have went either way, because all of those rounds are going to go to Canelo Alvarez. So once again, this may not be Canelo versus Andrade versus Charlo versus David Benavidez, someone like that, but at least it's not Canelo versus Rocky Fielding again. Therefore, this is a good matchup. Let's see how it plays out May 2nd. But before I wrap this video up, I just want to let you guys know, for anybody out there that's trying to grow your YouTube channel, you're looking to get more YouTube subscribers, go ahead and hit me up at dantesboxingnation@gmail.com. If you want me to promote your channel, if you want me to promote a website where you're trying to sell a product or anything it is, you just want to get your name out there, contact me at Dante's Boxing Nation. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. But before I do, I want to give a big shout out to my man Nate Drink One. He has a really good YouTube channel. It's a new YouTube channel. He covers all the sports. They have a really good podcast on there too. It's called A Drink of Wisdom with a full panel. And I really like the show because it's set up like an ESPN type of show with very knowledgeable cats on the panel. On top of that, my man Nate, he's a 10-year Marine Corps vet. So go ahead and show him that support, guys, and subscribe to his channel. I'm gonna go ahead and play a clip of one of his shows right now, and I'll put the link in the description box so you guys can subscribe. I'm on to the next one.
After a brief period of deliberation, Deontay Wilder has exercised his rematch option with Tyson Fury officially. The fight is scheduled to take place July 18th at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. The decision came just days after his loss, with Wilder seemingly thinking bad luck and circumstance had played a role in his loss last time. Fury will take the rematch and maybe one of the last fights we see the Gypsy King in. So, Drink, let's start with you, man. Is Wilder making a mistake by taking this rematch with Fury this soon?
Before I get to the answer of that question, two things I want to hit on about that first and second match. It's been brought out that the Nevada Commission, PBC, Top Rank, they're waiting on a B sample from Tyson Fury from the second fight. Evidently, something was wrong with his A sample, so they have to confirm it with the B sample. If what's being said is true, then we're talking a whole nother scenario here. That's one. Two, lots of videos, opinions, topics out there about the way Tyson Fury wrapped his hand or the lack of. It's videos out there. I'm not going to go down the weeds. If you really care, it's out there. But if that is true, that he didn't wrap his hands properly, and you see the tapes loose, you see him slapping at Wilder, you see the gloves bending backwards. I'm going to tell you right now, it is no boxing match you're going to show me where the fighter glove is going this way and it's perfectly okay. I'm just saying that. Go back and look at it, Google it, research it. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that, but it's two issues that's hanging over this between the second and third fight. Now, with that said, yes, I think he is. I think July 18th, that is moving extremely fast for the type of damage he took in the second fight. And the fact of what's wrong with giving yourself a break, man? Like, I can argue he rushed into the second fight. He fought in November, then he turned around and fought in February. What are we rushing for, Deontay? Let it simmer a little bit. Heal. Yo, you got the rematch. All you need to worry about was you invoked your clause. Tyson Fury got to respect the clause because you turned down a multi-pound deal to step aside. That's it. You don't need to be in the rush. No, I'm pretty sure Top Rank and the PBC got together and said, well, if we're gonna do it, let's capitalize in July. Everybody know May, June, and July, those are what you would call big fight months. May because of Cinco de Mayo, July because of International Fight Week, and June kind of gets sandwiched in between both. So I guess I understand why they're capitalizing on the fight aspiration of those 3 months. However, I just don't understand why Wilder is just in such a rush. Maybe he does feel like he got, he hurt himself. He snubbed himself and he's ready to prove everybody wrong. Or maybe it's just he know if he takes too long and he drags his foot, that Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua fight will get made.